Hello, welcome to the Blueprint series of videos. This series of short videos is intended to give you a breakdown of what it really looks like to do a tax plan. Now, I want everyone to understand that we entered this arena with a slightly different philosophy than I think the average firm has. We believe that the majority of tax errors, which include overpaying on taxes, mistakes in the tax return, including filing the wrong returns, and etc., we'll get into that in a minute, as well as errors on the books and in financial records, are less a result of negligence and more a result of just improper planning. So in order for Rottweiler Tax to file your tax return, we require you to have a tax plan in writing first. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to come from us, but at this time, all of our current clients got their tax plan from us as the previous provider did not give them one. When we do a tax plan, the core of what we do is save people money through tax strategy. That is the core of what we do. But what we found, especially throughout the year of 2019, is many people are seeking assistance not just from a standpoint of saving money on taxes, but in reducing their audit exposure and just exposure in general and helping them correct things in their records so that they can feel a little bit better about what they're doing. That's become a part of what we do. So the first section of your tax plan after it's completed is actually going to break out both exposure we find on your books and exposure we find in your tax returns. We look for a variety of things, and I'll get into more later. Beyond that, we want to look at new tax strategies that you can, should, and will be using in the new year. These strategies aren't necessarily anything that's, well, I wouldn't say they're not special. They are special because most people don't even know they exist, let alone use them, especially in the real estate space. And many of our strategies really focus on people in the real estate space, and we've tailored them for those people. The reality is everybody should be using these strategies, but most of them are not. So in the second section of your tax plan, after we've gone over any potential exposure, we want to break out all those new strategies for you. Now, once we've gotten beyond breaking out new strategies that you need to be using and what the actual number result will be from implementing each strategy, estimated, we want to go through the action items that you need to complete to reduce your exposure and to implement your new tax strategies. And those two are separate sections as well. After we've done that, we want to look at, have you paid penalties and interest in the past? Why have you paid penalties and interest, and how can we prevent additional costs going forward? Furthermore, when do we plan on filing your tax returns? And this is, I think, a key area for a lot of people. Most people have no plan on when they're going to file. They just do it when they do it. They get it when they get to it. And that leads to a lot of rushed returns, errors, penalties and interest, as most of you are probably familiar with, unfortunately. So that's also going to be part of the plan. Typically, the way we round it out is unique for each client. So after we've gotten through all those general sections, we need to round it out in a way that's personalized to you and that suits your specific situation. So that's a little bit more of a wild card, but I will talk to you more about that in the following videos. So that pretty much concludes our introduction. We'll see you in the next part, where we're going to talk a little bit about how we find exposure and what some of the common forms of exposure we find are with real estate agents. See you in the next video.